What's going on, everybody? It's Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. All right, guys, I jumped on to make a video because a lot of people have reached out asking about the algorithm I was talking about in my last video, and I had to stop because AMC was pumping, breaking over a pretty good sized level of resistance, touching over that $8. I want to talk about two things about AMC before we get into the rest of the video. First off, it's pretty much no surprise where we rejected from. This line is actually probably drawn just a little bit high. This is a beautiful daily evening star setup. You can see that about that $8 to $8.20 acted as a big level of resistance, and here we are testing into it. We do have currently almost 100 million shares traded, still about an hour left of market open. Now, there's two things I want to mention to this, okay? And I said this to everybody inside the group. If you own calls on AMC right now, market makers are pricing in a pretty good size move. The implied volatility, or IV, which is how these premiums are priced, is a very high 258%. When I started making the video before that pop on AMC, and I had to stop because I wanted to see it myself, it was only currently about 220 to 227%. All right, so it's already spiked even higher, meaning market makers are pricing in a big move in either direction. You can see this plus and minus sign if you zoom in a little bit, or if you have TD Ameritrade, they're pricing in a $1.67 move by Friday, which means, okay, even if you are holding a position, you're holding, let's say your call position, your $8 calls, okay, if you are in calls, if it doesn't move beyond that, your premiums are going to drop heavily in value. Okay, now earnings do not come out until tomorrow, so I do expect this to continue to rise in tomorrow. Just keep that noted if you are in any long calls on this position. The IV is spiking very, very heavily. As you can see, it is continuing to rise as I'm just talking about it. The second thing is there has been a lot of bullish action. Now, I had this screenshot sent to me. I am not a one who is really huge on reading flow or very detailed. There are some people that I know that really just trade pretty much solely based off of flow. They don't look at charts, and it just happens to work for them. I am not one of them. I will look at flow for a little bit of confluence or some extra confirmation. But as you can see, there's been a lot of puts here. However, they were purchased at the bid. That's why you see this over here as bullish, indicating that it's a potential sell, that someone is selling 13 puts, selling 15 puts, selling 10 puts. Okay, that's when you see that bid, that's why it shows up as bullish, meaning if they're selling a put, that is a bullish action. Okay, they're expecting the price to be over that level or to at least continue to rise so they can close out some of that position. These are all over $100,000 bets. Okay, so somebody big knows exactly what is happening. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Last thing I do want to talk about before I get into the algorithm is, what are we seeing here? You're looking at AMC. I'll zoom in further. You're looking at AMC having a massive spike to the upside, but you're looking at APE, which is really having the kind of like the inverse, moving to the downside. All right. So we have seen over the past, month, probably about a month or so, we've seen APE continue to rise a little bit on, the expectations of, a conversion would happen, meaning that basically one ape would become one AMC, okay, or somewhere around that range, and therefore you'd basically be purchasing AMC at a much cheaper price. Well, we are only days away, or less than a day away from, by the time the earnings, and also you have the March 14th voting deadline. There was an article released saying that we're not going to find anything out about the conversion until April 27th. That could be infecting a little bit. I also beg to wonder, who knows this information? Who is privy to this information before? So I will tell you, we are seeing a little bit of a rejection. You're going to want to see this level, this 725 level, where we had that nice flag break to the upside, hold for a continuation. Okay, there is a lot of volume. We haven't seen this much volume coming in pretty steadily in AMC in quite some time. So that is good to have it continue. Now, what I do want to talk about is what people have been asking me about, what I mentioned in the latter part of this video, okay? Massive error with an irrevocable consequences. It's about this new algorithm that I'm having somebody create, because I am not a coder, I am just a trader. But what I will talk a little bit about is, listen, guys, this is not done yet. I don't want to release this, okay, to everybody, because I'm really trying to how to tie in the front end with the back end. What I mean by that is the front end, you have understanding charts, how to read charts, but also talking about the back end, the execution, the no hesitation, the being able to stay in a position. So looking at this of why it took this position, okay? So there is obviously still tweaks that need to be made, but a couple things I will go over is QQQ. It is reading QQQ very, very well. It read that long right off of the beginning. Once this candle closed, the reason why it read that long is because it maintained that pre-market low. One thing that you can see by all of what I'm going to show you in the rest of this video, okay, is when these longs or shorts are triggered, they're not buying the top, they're not longing the top, they're not chasing, they're not shorting the bottom, they're waiting for a premium entry to get in. Okay, QQQ caught that long to the upside, had a little bit of resistance, wanted to buy this long again. Now this was a losing trade, but I will tell you this, look at this setup. This is a setup I will continue to long 99 out of 100 times. Reason being is because you are seeing a break over pre-market high, and this candle, which is I trade off the 3-minute candle, okay, it held that pre-market high and this flag, indicating that we are going to continue to make a move in that same direction. Okay, not only does this setup play out pretty much quite often, I will continue to buy this setup, offering a very, very good risk reward. Another thing that I really enjoy about the being able to release this algorithm is, hopefully, even if you guys aren't actively trading this, if you want to just follow this, then I'm sorry to say this, but I think anybody that solely just follows something, you're really going to inhibit your potential. Okay, your full potential is going to be reached by executing solely based on your own strategy and your own system. But what this is going to help with is learning, okay, well, why did this trigger? Why is this position taking? Obviously, you're looking for a pullback over pre-market high to execute along. It's a losing trade. That's okay. Professional traders lose. Nobody has 100%. It's offering a good risk reward. You get out of it. Here's another one. Why did this short trigger? Okay, well, we have a break, a big, sell off happening below. We curl back up, a pretty bearish candle, as you can see, this long wick to the upside, followed by some continued sellers, and it's acting as this what was once support, now acting as resistance. Okay, now why did this long trigger? Well, here we are bouncing back off of pre-market low. We have a big level at 293.50 area, a lot of consolidation. That pre-market low held as support, and a massive, bullish candle. Bullish, I would say it would be better if it was a green candle that closed, but a pretty bullish candle, okay, that had come through, which is showing that, listen, we're going to continue to make the move to the upside. Now, I will even show you even a couple other ones that we have this set up on as of right now. You can see, obviously, this was Microsoft. It tried to catch that short, even though it did continue to play out even further on throughout the day. I wouldn't really call that to be a winning trade. This is probably not one of the best risk rewards, because if I were to short at this position, my cut actually wouldn't be until a break of pre-market high. So while this could have played out, even though I would not classify this as a winning trade, okay, while this could have played out and been profitable, because technically the trigger did come through somewhere around this candle, and therefore we are trading below that, I can't really classify that as one, and that definitely isn't one as that has a massive risk reward. Now you look at Tesla, which was another one. Tesla had a little bit of jumbled. I'm really trying to figure out to get out of this algorithm to where it doesn't trigger during these consolidations. Okay, as you can see, I had long, short. Where are we going? I'm looking for it to try to find a way to be able to have this nothing trigger and then just get that nice long, as you've seen, coming through here. But it does have some time. I'll show SPY. SPY was the last one that kind of got chewed up a little bit. It caught that long to the upside. You have this short as of right here. This would be at best a break even. I definitely cannot call this a winning trade, even though it got lower here. At best, I would say break even. You had this long, which definitely triggered a little bit prematurely. This is a setup I would still take as of right here. You have this consolidation, a break above it. It would have been nice if it's triggered right around on this candle. As you can see, you have this level right here, okay, that we break above it, and then it continues to move to the upside. But it did trigger over here. So I would say this is probably really, 2 winning trades, and maybe a break even on this short, and probably a break even on this long. I really can't say, even though it got higher than that it would have been even close to the winning trade. It would have been nice for this short to trigger. I do have this set up as only 4 triggers a day, but this would have been a beautiful trigger on the short if it was set up to go even longer. But so guys, I'll continue to work on this, update this. Like I said, when it is ready for release, I will let everybody know. But that's it for this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.